Good evening. Canada likes to see itself as one of the most tolerant and multicultural countries in the world. But that only means something if people can still live together, disagree honestly, and not see every conflict as a threat. Today, that feels harder. Protests are protected in Canada, but so is public order. Religious expression is protected, but so are laws against hate. Police reported hate crimes have more than doubled since 2018, and disinformation is now openly described by Ottawa as a threat to trust, unity, and democratic institutions. So tonight, we're asking a bigger question than whether Canada is diverse. We're asking whether Canada still knows how to talk across differences, or whether cultural dialogue is slowly being replaced by outrage, suspicion, and misinformation. Joining me are two wonderful guests. I have Mustafa and Judy. Guys, it's so good to have you. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Happy to be here.
So let's talk about a little bit of what we've seen recently in the media. Judy, what have you seen come across the city of Toronto recently, just with protests? We have a lot of conflicts in the Middle East. Tensions globally are very high. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? I know you live in the city, so I'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, things that people are seeing in the news is what's really happening on the street level.
Right.
Obviously, every single weekend there's a protest for something.
Is it really every single weekend?
Of course, it's every single weekend. Sometimes during the weekday, sometimes during the middle of the workday. There's somebody protesting something.
Are
on
they
the side of the
loud? Are
street.
they quiet? Is there a lot of people? What does it look like?
It can be a lot of people for sure. They concentrate around that like Queen's Park area usually, but it depends on the protest. Obviously, we've recently had a lot of pro-Iran protests, and by pro-Iran, I mean against the regime by the Iranians that live in Canada, which we have a lot of the diaspora that live, mostly in the Thornhill, north of Toronto area. And those people have come out in massive numbers.
I saw, was it hundreds of thousands about 2 or 3 weeks ago in Toronto, Mustafa? What have you been seeing recently just in the city? And I know you've been on the ground as well, so.
Yeah, no, I just to touch up on Judy, you've been seeing a lot of protests that resonate with what's going on across the world, and also what's happening here at home with the OSAP cuts that a lot of the students are feeling. And I feel like the students were like a sleeping giant that has been woken up. And that's why you see a lot of them protesting, because it directly affects them too. And then obviously that goes to what's happening globally with conflicts in the Middle East. And people are really pissed off right now, and they find that protesting is the best way to have their voices heard.
Okay. Is it the best way to have your voice heard, protesting? Loaded question.
Yes and no. I would be, because
Give me your honest thoughts. Does it actually get something done?
I understand that it puts some pressure on the government, especially when you're standing at their doorstep, whether it be Queen's Park, Ottawa, the Hill. But when it gets too polarized, when we face with polarizing issues across the world, it becomes more of a means of getting your anger out, whether that be against other people, the infrastructure. And I think that sort of takes away from the right of expressing yourself. And it turns more into a violent anarchy than that floods the streets.
It's almost like the visual that I see, there's a story that I see in my head is we toe the line as much as possible. So, instead of hitting somebody, you go up in their face like this and you're just screaming at them. It's like, at what point are you instigating something or asking for violence to happen? Then it just immediately you cross that line, or is it still okay? I mean, so one thing I noted here, the Charter protects peaceful assembly and expression, including demonstrations and protests. Now, on the flip side, Justice Canada also notes that peaceful assembly does not protect riots or gatherings that seriously disturb the peace. Has your peace been disturbed, Judy?
For sure, it's disturbing.
What makes it disturbing? What's the definition of that?
Well, it blocks traffic, which is super inconvenient, and I feel like road rage is a real issue in Toronto. So.
But that's a way that they get their voice heard, by blocking traffic, to make sure that they disrupt the public way of life in a peaceful way, is to block people from getting to point A to point B. That's how you get your voice heard, no?
Listen, protesting is a democratic right to do, and we should support it full stop. It's interesting that, the trucker convoy wasn't protected by the government. In fact, we had massive human rights infringements in the way that I see it. But in general, protesting is a democratic right.
Interesting. Mustafa, close it off.
Look, I want to get to work on time, and I want to be able, because I drive. And if someone comes in front of me and then gets me to be late from where I'm going by 1 or 2 hours, then I'm not going to support it.
Have you ever had them lay in front of your car?
No, but I've seen videos of it, like Just Stop Oil, like in the UK, and
Yeah.
how it happens. I don't
But that's how
understand.
they're getting their voice heard.
I think we
Yeah.
need to step it up in Canada for sure. I mean, if you look at how people in France protest, we need to,
Okay, we
need
can
to
do
step
better.
it up. We need
All
to do
right,
better.
back to it in just a moment. Stay tuned for segment 2. What does dialogue between cultures actually look like?